map is up as well. So here we go, everyone. Infamous versus Phoenix is on, and we have Infamous as blue on the left side, bringing in the third US here on the lovely, lovely map of Death Row. But on the right side, Phoenix is bringing in the 79th Guards Tank Corps, the big boy divisions. Map ban was Vertigo, so we won't see Vertigo today. We might see all the other maps though, if we go to another game 5. As we try to figure out who will follow up Karma into the finals. And this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really, really interesting. And if you want to support these players, you can do so via Metrorino. We are now up to above $619, so that means there will be a 6-hour TKS stream of mine coming for you next week. Next Thursday is the plan. We'll have to figure that out. You will know that by tomorrow if you check out the stream schedule. So, big shout out there. We are now going for the next stretch goal, $800, so that the Division 2 winners get more prize money as well. But yeah, first prize by now up to nearly $300, and you can help out making that bigger without paying anything yourself. Via the stretch goals on the side, the sponsor quests, BetterHelp, a couple of website ones as well that don't show up for me right now, but they should be showing up for you, where you can just visit the website and you get 20 cents. You don't have to click anything on the website, you don't have to log in for anything on the website there. You just visit the website and you add 20 cents to the prize pool here with these sponsor quests on the side. That's easy, free money. Or you can contribute the money directly, like, for example, Uncle Sam and Chris Wu just did. Big shout out to them. Yeah, thanks to everyone who contributed money directly or indirectly. Like, big thanks here. Getting us above $690. Really making that quite a sizable amount of money. And not just for the honor, but actually that can buy you something. Like, especially in maybe countries where it's not quite the normal US standard. Those dollars are worth quite a bit. And yeah, it's some lovely stuff for sure. As we're going to get in some hot action, you know. yeah, we're gonna get a TKS stream. And yeah, Infamous versus Phoenix, that's gonna be hot now. So, 79 coming in on the right side. And what do you think about this deployment, Wooden Box?
So, 79th, let's have a little look through. Yeah, standard kind of recon deployment there. Normal Razvedka mixed with motorized Razvedka. Obviously, your motorized ones for the more kind of beefy engagements you're expecting to have. So, on the flanks, which is perfect for them, and then ones for the middle. The vision with the normal Razvedka, and then double CV off the start is a bold move, and then backed up by the elite OSAs, BMP2s and T8BV. Looks like he's going to bulldoze his way down the center of the map, which is a bold play. I mean, 1A10 getting a good strafing run could be very bad for that, but we'll see if the elite OSAs can deal with anything coming their way.
KDBV start also relative classic, so that's going to be interesting. And on the other side, we have a couple of Bradleys, a couple of Itos coming around. No tanks so far in the startup, and quite a lot of different recon units, including the really strong ACAF with scouts. Those take a bit longer to arrive on the front line, same with the M150s, but their fighting capabilities are really efficient for their price. The M150 bringing the tow for only 40 points, and the 50 cal on a recon vehicle. And the ACAF getting you those really nasty M40A1 recoilless rifles for 35 points with good optics. Those can be quite annoying if you run into them at the wrong moment. So, as I say that, we also get a tank here. So we will have a TADBV versus M1A1 matchup at the start, which is slightly tilted towards the M1A1 in most ranges. So, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Both at elite veterancy as well. So both players getting the stuff up to the top notch they can, but we'll see who uses it better.
Yeah. And more 50s coming around in good numbers. ACAFs and military police, so a lot of utility forces, stingers, recon, no beefy infantry whatsoever on Infamous' side. Only military police M67s. Those are small squads, and a fire team law in the north, which is also a small squad. Not even coming in a Bradley, just coming in a Humvee. Not the most card efficient unit to buy in this way, but pretty cost efficient for holding the line. But on the other side though, the amount of infantry is minimal as well so far. As we get a couple of Iglas. We get a 120mm mortar, which I wonder what the use for that will be. Because, like, usually you want to use them for smoke attacks, but what is there for Phoenix to push with at the start? Like, that 120mm is a odd one, in my eyes.
Yeah,
If
it's a
that's his.
strange choice. He took away all the BMP2s he had in the center and got that in, and the Iglas on the flank. So I don't know if he's just
He,
using it to protect his tanks he's going to have in the center, or setting it
he,
up for later. But
he might be somewhat paranoid about an Apache start, it seems.
yeah,
Like with the Igla start, with maybe trying to smoke up his own stuff, but bombs and stuff can't hit it. Okay, with BMP3, yeah, he considered where to put in the BMPs again. A couple of them will return, 3 of them. So, yeah, 3 motor strategies with BMP2s and a TADBV that is a sizable force to push with. On the other side,
yeah,
there is decent amount of units, but it's not going to be a super big defensive force. The ITOs, though, could be nasty against the BMP2s and the TADBV, so you still gotta be somewhat careful there, all around.
yeah. I think generally Infamous going for the more cost-efficient start of the cheaper units compared to Phoenix, and we'll see if that matchup plays off. If they can stand up against the force Phoenix has got going to the center. I don't think anybody's going to get overly aggressive, though, in their deployment at the start.
You know, from the lines, it looks like we're gonna go all to their normal starting positions in the center. And we are off with game number 1. In the blue, on the left, Infamous rushing in here. And Phoenix coming in on the other side. It's a best of 5. We're gonna be here for a while, everyone. This is not gonna be over in a quick one. It's a fight of endurance and mind games, just as it is of skills in the micro department on the battlefield. It will be a tough series to fight out. And Death Row is a classic map to start on. We finished the last best of 5 on it, we start this one on it, and it's going to be a hot match, I'm pretty sure. As Phoenix is grabbing the point advantage already. And
Yeah, those two CVs off the start, he will start to tick up points straight away. But obviously, Infamous is going to know that it's going to be 2 CVs, and he's already going to be up 200 points for units on the field. So we'll see if he can take advantage of that.
yes. Yeah, Phoenix likes to play this style, or like he's either the guy who puts the ball into the other guy's yard by just getting those points and then being like, oh yeah, attack me. Or he
Yeah,
rushes you really, really hard at the beginning with something like we saw in that game against you with the Apaches. Like there
yeah,
is little in between usually in Phoenix playstyle. Either he's the super defensive one that just goes up for a point advantage and then says like, oh yeah, come at me, bruh. And that seems to be the case this time around. But I wonder if we will see the other side of Phoenix in this series as well, where he just goes for complete, all-out aggressive push in the early game.
I think it will come out at some point for sure. I think it would depend on his division choice,
Yeah,
but I think it's definitely there as an option for him if he wants to kind of throw a wrench in the works of Infamous.
scouts under fire in the center. And the Bradley himself gets smoked off. Aito is still around though, and that's already flying, so the BMP2s have to be careful. Ooh, first BMP2 might fall there.
Yeah.
Yes, first nice kill there. First
Down.
blood for Infamous. As one of the scouts bites the dust. Smoke tries to protect from the Bradleys. Oh no, next BMP2 has to be careful. Does smoke off this time around, so that
He's on
one
the
won't fall.
micro there.
Yes. No aircraft around, and quick CV from Infamous now as well to at least neutralize the center. At least stop the +3, but still already 300 points for Phoenix now. As
Ticking up slowly.
Infamous now is pushing a bit in the south. M1A1 Bradleys are around. Moto Radwetka on their own don't stand a chance. They don't get much support there. TADBV in the north got hit by a ATGM as well. So Phoenix has to be careful.
It's going to be too dangerous for that to cross across the open there to try and deal with the M1A1 with the toes, which could fire into its side. So it kind of needs to stay back to stay safe. And this gives free reign to Infamous on that bottom side.
And there's no reinforcements for the center for Phoenix, so the M1A1 and the Bradleys also could pressure that back, especially as 2 of the 3 MP2s already have fallen. The reinforcements for Phoenix all coming for the sides, while the reinforcements for Infamous mostly came into the center. Also, Infamous with 2 CVs now will have more CVs on the battlefield than Phoenix, and Phoenix loses all the BMP2s, and that's a pretty tough loss. Those BMP2s are really good units. You don't want to just waste them like this.
No, definitely not. And 40 points a pop, it does add up.
And we have the M1A1 versus TADBV. TADBV a bit luckier with the first shot, and in a long sustained fight, the TADBV has the advantage of the autoloader, so especially as it gets stress onto the M1A1, that can be annoying. TADBV...
Bradley's come up to support. They do.
You don't want to use
micro
an ATGM fight there. Oh no! Yeah, you don't want to do an ATGM fight versus a Bradley with a TADBV. Gunfight, totally fine. You pop that. If you don't pop it, you smoke. But not your ATGM is slower than the TOW2, and that was a insane loss now. Like, that TADBV was kind of holding together the whole center there. That was the pivot unit for Phoenix to go around, and with the loss of this game might be over quickly now. Like, what is there to stop a big push from Infamous? If Infamous would push now, there's next to nothing behind this.
Come up to the center there, but it was really well played by Infamous, bringing the Bradley into that engagement and just tipping it in his favor.
Yeah, and I also don't understand why Phoenix kept on fighting there, knowing that he has another TADBV on the way that then could have maybe tried to flank the M1A1. Outnumbered, like 2 versus 1, those tank fights are always way easier to win as in a 1v1. 1v1s are just so risky. Oh boy, the triple stinger doesn't joke around. The Mi-8 there going down, at least kills a couple of military police by crashing down. The kamikaze is real.
Trying to move his TV around to a safer spot, but I don't think it's any safer in the south side.
Yeah, the amount of Bradleys already is pretty nasty. The amount of TOW2s on the battlefield is quite rough.
And there we go.
As the CV goes down. And Motostrelki gets the kill into the ACAF, but yeah, with the loss of the CV in the middle, Infamous now is the one up on the +5. F4 cluster doesn't get a good hit. TADBV still alive, gets damaged, but doesn't get killed, so at least a small victory there for Phoenix, but still TADBV out of service for now, and there is no supply up. Another TADBV coming in, but now the first one needs repairs, and you kind of want to get 2 of these online now to overwhelm the M1A1, to kill off Bradleys in duos or so. Like, a single one of them is not that great. And
no,
waiting for the MTLBs to arrive will take a long time that Phoenix might not have at this stage. There's just so much blue on the battlefield. Taking fights in the north as well against the military police there. Motor Radwetka, though, seem to be winning in this one.
I think he just needs to settle down a bit, try not to lose anything, take efficient engagements, and just get your stuff repaired up. And then from there, you can kind of slowly start to whittle your way back into the game. But just try not to be overly aggressive. Because if you keep losing units, you'll definitely not be able to build yourself back in.
Oh no! Oh, and as we talk about not losing units, another M1A1 pops the TADBV, and with 2 TADBVs down by now, without any major losses on the other side, this is going to be absolute pain now for Phoenix to play another ATGM fight with a Bradley. This is really not the engagements you want here. Phoenix not on his A game right now. BMP2s versus Bradley. Bradley heavily under fire.
One's
will
come up to support though.
will go down, but yeah, M1A1 and more Bradleys coming around, so the BMP2s need to smoke off, doing it a bit too late, so one of them gets popped. Motostrelki a bit stranded in this forest down here. They don't have any ATGMs, so they can't do much.
JBV is coming up to support though. Going to take that engagement again.
But it gets string shot by the M1A1 and the Bradley. It can't take that fight. Bradley
The
at least
res
does
out
miss.
there. Oh,
But TADBV once more damaged. And yeah, supply is coming up. There's a D30 on the battlefield. That's risky play. And
it's
in the whole north.
actually stepping up. Another M1A1's coming up to the front line as well for Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous is just looking really, really hot right now. The Rocket Apache, there's nothing to stop that right now in the center. And Phoenix does surrender game number 1. Doesn't want to stay in here for too long. Yeah, he talked about that on Friday when he was casting with me. That he's a guy who's, if it goes south, he doesn't want to stick in a losing battle for too long. Just get it out of your head. Get into the next one. And I think that's the right call here because that game was kind of over at this stage.
Yeah, it would have been a grindy one for the rest of it for it finally come to an end, but I think everyone could kind of read how it was going to go. Just looking at kills and losses here, up to 5 minutes into the game, it's so much just for Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous with really solid setup. Like there was little mistakes made on the side of Infamous. I felt like I saw nothing that was like, oh yeah, that was a obvious error. But Phoenix had a couple of missteps, and Infamous punished him really hard for it. That's this level of play that we are on. Every small mistake just throws you back a little bit, and then if they add up, you just end up behind with a not even 1-2 KD here. Infamous really clearly winning game number 1 here, and that for sure will give him a nice morale boost, and also only 2 away now from moving on to the finals.